Yo, what's poppin', all my peeps? It is I, your host with the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off in the Yard of Streams. And obviously, you can't have Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Ayo. Oh, we can't hear you. Where did my sound go? Sara, I can't hear you. Hold on. Where? Hold on, check. What? Sorry, I can't hear. Hold on. How about now?
Next week, I'm sitting down with JR.
I am.
John Callis to Keston. More importantly, what I plan to do for Wentworth. So, look forward to that. Thanks for your time, buddy. Hey, can you give me a little scoop?
I don't know what's happening.
It's a good day to have a good day. Start the morning with Hugo's and eggs and cheese.
Oh, hello.
There you go. I can hear you now.
Jeez Louise.
I don't know
Okay.
what the hell that was. That was fucking frightening. That was a lot.
Whose
All right.
game is it? Oh no. Oh no.
All right. I'm so sorry about that, peeps.
Okay, let's get him introduced. Let's go. He's been waiting.
I know he's been waiting. We've been having difficulties. You know what? Sara, we probably heard it before, but we got the Yeah movement
Woo!
in the Yard of Streams with us for this episode. And oh
my
he
goodness.
brought the F back.
Oh yeah.
Throwback, baby. Attitude era. That's what we're all about here. Listen, this is the last thing that I purchased from WWE before I bought my LA Knight shirt.
Wow.
Years ago. 25
That's
years ago.
incredible.
I still need something from I still need to get my LA Knight shirt. I haven't done that yet.
Oh,
I'm
I
behind.
think I got us covered.
I know. How did you
Yeah.
get yours before I got mine? That's a bigger question.
Oh, I just cashed in. I saw an opportunity. It's wrestling shirt season here on Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show and in with all the peeps. So I had to get mine. My Kevin Owens one is in the mail, but I'm so happy this one came in. Pretty perfect timing. So
Yeah.
But it's good to have you here, Tim. And you know, the Thursday show, for if you're not familiar, like we do the Raw Rewind, we do the SmackDown breakdown, but the Thursday show is kind of just out there. But we have a few different things, and you know, I thought I'd just bring you along with the journey of this. You know, have you on for the entire thing. You go through the show with us, and then we just get to learn a little bit about you and do what we all really want to do at the end of the day, and that's talk about Mr. L.A. Knight. Hold on, let me get it down.
And just as that has happened, the heavens of I don't know if you can hear the rain or not. It's pouring. I had to do this in my car. Let's get it on, baby. What do we got for me?
All right, so we're gonna start out the show with I think one of my favorite segments of our show.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud. So little Adam, what's his name?
Adam Rose.
Adam
Oh my
Rose.
God.
Thank you. It's been a stressful 10 minutes. All right, between not having audio and other nonsense. Adam Rose, and I kind of plays off with a little segment I used to do in college on a radio show with Lemon and Rose, like Thorns or something. So we combined it for wrestling. Rose, Lemon, Rose, what is your favorite thing that you've seen this week in wrestling? And Lemon is what is just the worst, like absolute worst. You're like, I want improvement, or we're finding something new. So we'll kick things off. We haven't really heard from him, and the host with the most always serves the guest first. Tim,
So-
what is your rosebud of the week?
Well, I mean, I think it's obvious. I think what we saw with LA Knight over the weekend at SummerSlam, I mean, it was unbelievable. The guy that got the biggest pop of the night in a meaningless, battle royal. It was like I had said, I had felt like this is going to be the coming out party for LA Knight. Even though the battle royal really wasn't meaningful, I felt like it was going to be a real coming out night for him, and we saw that. And the popularity is unbelievable, and it should continue to skyrocket. Now, as far as a lemon, oh boy, I think Ronda Rousey going out like she did, I think that was pretty much a lemon. That was sad, a whimper. She came in with all that hype, and she left with a whimper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
A whimper. I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
The peeps know my hatred of Ronda Rousey in WWE. So I'm not.
You're not alone.
I can't deal with it. It's so, I just don't know what they're doing with that. So yeah, I would agree with both those. The Slim Jim Battle Royal, I would just rename it the LA Knight Invitational and just have him every year.
Yeah.
Just host a battle royal and you have to beat him or whatever. Oh, that'd be incredible. There we go. Sarah, what is your rosebud of the week?
Well, I was gonna say the LA Knight Miz segment on Raw. That was, I was obsessed with it. I think I've watched it like 3 times all the way through. Thank goodness for Tim. I believe he's the one who uploaded the entirety of it on his Twitter page because I couldn't find it on YouTube. That's the thing that I hate about WWE is like they'll post clips from the shows, but they don't post the entire thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to see like the meat of it. I want to see the whole thing. So I would say that moment, and then I have to mention JD McDonough talking with Finn Balor. That was one of my favorites too, because I want to see JD and his involvement in the Judgment Day, of course. So I am looking forward to that a lot, obviously.
I love JD in that all black slick back hair. Just, he looks like such a perfect henchman to Judgment Day. Not like he doesn't have, and that's the thing. You can have him just be the brawler of the group who goes out, the handyman who does all the work for them. So Finn can protect himself, whatever. You can do so much with it. And the attack on Sammy was, I didn't think they would do that. I didn't think they'd go for it so quick with him.
Yeah.
One segment into that. So I would agree with that.
I loved it. I loved every part of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sarah, what was your lemon? What's your lemon of the week?
Well, considering what we're talking about, Raw and SummerSlam. Finn losing to Seth Rollins. That was the giant lemon for me because I still think that Finn deserved to beat Seth at SummerSlam. And I mean, there's still time. It could come at Payback. I'm just concerned that they're going to be kind of limiting their focus to the turmoil within the Judgment Day and kind of like making Finn not really so interested in Seth anymore. But we'll see. But as of right now, I'm still not completely over that. So great match, phenomenal match, just terrible ending. So
I'm with mine. We're going to go reverse here because you kind of have to go reverse order for mine. My lemon of the week is finding out that the women's tag team titles are just cursed.
Oh, yeah.
After Sonya Deville gets injured, ACL, any football fan, sports fan knows that is not an injury you can just bounce back within a couple weeks from. So this sucks, okay? And especially with the way the tag division was going, with Chelsea, Sonya playing off each other, Chelsea Green just actually becoming a star in front of our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then to have that derailed with this injury, it just shows that they need to do something different with the titles.
Yeah.
I mentioned the other day on the show, maybe a title redesign.
Mhm.
I think that might be a good thing. Out with the old, in with the new. Just me. So that sucked. That actually really sucked. But
I know where you're going now. So
oh, there we go. That little
They
KK
should.
we got.
They should retire those belts. They should retire the tag team belts for the women's division. Obviously, it's cursed.
yeah,
Obviously. Come
I
on.
know.
Introduce
Really?
a mid card belt for the women.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
we've
we've
talked
ta-
about that.
we've talked about that so
We
much,
have
and
discussed that.
yeah, like an intercontinental equivalent or something
Sure.
like that. Yeah,
Sure.
Why not?
100%. Yeah.
But it led to my rosebud of the week. It's just like a butterfly effect, kind of. Because Chelsea Green went on after the bell, and they were telling, what are you gonna do now with Sonya gone? And she went into this whole thing about maybe I'll just carry them both, and I'll be the universal heavyweight women's, whatever
Tag
champion,
champs.
tag champion, no plural, champion. So, I mean, that was hilarious in itself. But then you go on her Twitter, and she's like, because something that she mentioned on the show was auditions, or was it the show or on her Twitter? I forget which one it was. But she mentioned that she would hold auditions for her next partner. I think Corey Graves mentioned it. Corey Graves did. Like, hold auditions for the next partner and have Chelsea be, a judge. And okay, before I get to the punchline of my rosebud, Sarah and I already talked about this. All right, for all the people watching.
I just said this 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we recorded last. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 days ago we said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
We did,
Yeah.
there it is.
I was like, we're waiting,
I
waiting
was like,
for it.
I was like, please tell me. Yeah, like we just talked about it. So that was just a win itself. Just like the tweet, Chelsea's for the peeps.
Yep.
But it gave me, this was my real rosebud. Like, this was the real it.
Uh-oh.
R-Truth put out an audition tape asking to be Chelsea Green's partner. He's like, I'll be a proxy. I'll just stand in. I know what it takes, girl. I know what you gonna get got. Like, I'm like,
He
and
said
it's-
he would squash some spiders too.
yeah.
So
Sometimes.
yeah. He's scared of
He's
spiders.
scared of
so.
some spiders. Some spiders
Yeah.
he's scared of. It was
Same.
It was like, this is how you can just keep evolving your character and keeping the fans happy every day with just different shit like this. Like, R-Truth. When was the last time I think we've talked about R-Truth?
Since when he got injured.
When he got injured.
Because I was coming for Grayson Waller, not
You
just
did.
standing there and watching it happen.
Yeah, that was a real.
That was a
He got hit
downside
with
in
the
my
Grayson Waller effect.
that was the Grayson Waller effect. Let me watch you blow your quad and like not try to help you at all.
It was a really good heel move. So yeah, that was just that was the best part. I mean, there's been so much going on, but when I think of wrestling now and social media, and not only that, it's such a great way to steer into the skid. You know what I mean? Like, another tragic injury. All right, we got to just throw it's just spitballs at a wall. What's going to stick the longest? And then you come up with the Chelsea, or we did really, the idea of Chelsea Green's auditions. Chelsea's Got Talent. Just something like that. That could be a segment every week. You could do it for long enough where you could do like a legit proxy tag partner, have them win like one or two defenses within like at least a 2-3 week span. And then who comes back? Sonya Deville. If you really want to go down that road. But the point is that you're steering into the skid with something that is tragic and making it into something that's actually worth watching.
Well, it plays into our guests today that you have to take advantage of the hype that is around somebody. And there is a lot of hype around Chelsea, even if it's not anywhere near the same level
As
of LA Knight.
And-
You can't have her on the shelf while Sonya's out.
I think it's important too, is that what you saw there is making, lemonade out of lemons.
Mhm.
And I think that's exactly what we saw with the rise of LA Knight. Was look at the way the guy was booked for months.
Yeah.
I mean, he was glorified enhancement talent. Let's be honest about what it was. And he took every moment that he had and he used it to his benefit.
Mhm.
And the results are right there. You see it. So, it's not about what happens, it's how you respond to what happens and how you use that to your advantage. That's what it's all about. And no matter what situation you're in, you can make the best out of it. You can, like I said, make lemonade out of lemons.
I agree. Well, and Chelsea is another one that they brought back in the Triple H era and who was released before because Vince didn't really do anything with her. So I think it's like, I don't remember who we were talking about the Raw Fatal 4-Way to become the #1 contender. And although those are guys, Chad Gable's on TV every week, so maybe, even Matt Riddle, but those are 4 guys that are not a Vince McMahon prototype, and you can tell just like the hunger that they have to be on TV and to put on a good match and to just be in the ring. And I feel like you can feel that with certain people. You can see that with LA Knight. You can see it with, like, we're talking about Chelsea. Like, she's so passionate about this. So I think that they need to capitalize on what they have with her and how well she's doing in this new character and in her return. So I hope that they really do go with something like this for her, because the Karen TikTok compilation that they had with her was amazing. So if they can just keep that going, then I'm excited, because, when you hear about an injury at first, you think it's bad for the tag team partner, especially with the women. They've taken the titles off them. So hopefully they'll figure it out and not disappoint us like they have many times before.
Yeah, I really hope they don't, because there's so much you can do there. Chelsea Green is so entertaining.
Yes.
So let's get some comments before we.
I saw a lot of
into it.
yes in the
A
comments.
lot
Yeah.
of these, a lot of yeah. What's up?
All right.
What's up, Bernard?
Bernard is in the house.
Yeah, movement in the house, baby. Yeah,
Yeah, they
movement
are.
is in the house too. Our guest today, so excited to have you on. Dickie, he's a peep, consistent peep here on the show. Rosebud for me is Shinsuke being pushed to the main event. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I think he should be competing for the WWE title again, or World Heavyweight, whatever it is, World Heavyweight title again.
So here's my question to you: Do you think it's believable that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win the World Championship? Do you think it's believable that he's going to beat Seth Rollins?
Oh, let Sarah go first.
Right now, no. Because, as I was saying in my lemon part, that Finn had all the momentum around him at SummerSlam and he was still unable to beat Seth Rollins. So it's like, I think if they keep going with Shinsuke versus Seth, maybe down the road, but it would have to be like 2-3 months or something from now. Like, he's not winning at Payback. He's not winning at whatever the next pay-per-view is. And I kind of hope that they sit on that for a bit, because I'm biased, but I still don't want to see the end of Finn and Seth. So I think, yeah, Shinsuke maybe down the road, but not right now.
It's a believable opponent.
It's a believable opponent, just not someone to dethrone him at the moment. Yeah.
Right.
Dethrone him now. So if I'm watching this as, a casual wrestling fan, or, not one of us, from those eyes, it is okay. Maybe he could win. The Shinsuke guy, he's kind of got, the kicks, all that, whatever.
He's got the kicks.
It's the strong side. That's the king of strong side.
He's got those kicks with those legs.
He's a great in-ring talent. There's no doubt about it. He has a lot of, prestige to his past. But, for me, I look at it as one of these things where, all right, we're gonna throw Shinsuke a bone. We're gonna throw him in there with Seth. They're gonna put on some great matches. Maybe they'll have a couple matches. So at the end of the day, is he a believable champion? Not right now, but maybe at some point we can get him there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would like to see him champ though in like a month and a half. But yeah, continue.
So the reason I bring that up is people are very, very vocal about how they want LA Knight to be the U.S. champion, or they want him to, be this champion now. And what I say to them is, look at him on what he's done in WWE. Is he a believable world champion? The guy in the ring has been basically jobbed out for months. All of a sudden now, over the last month or so, they're starting to build him up a little bit. So what I think is going to happen is they want to get LA Knight to the point where he is a believable world champion. So it's going to take some time. And I know it's hard to be patient, but that's why putting him in a feud with someone like The Miz is a great idea. Because The Miz really hasn't had much to do. He'd be great with LA Knight on the mic, in the ring. It'll be a victory for LA Knight to help him, gain a little momentum in the ring. But to be a world champion, you have to be a believable world champion. And that means you got to have a lot of wins under your belt. It means you have to be red hot in the ring. So I think for LA Knight fans out there, just be patient. I know it's hard, but he's undoubtedly on that path now to where they're going to make him look strong. And eventually I believe that they'll be in that main event.
Well, and we talked about this too, because
Yes.
there's a lot of comparisons to his rise and people caring and cheering for him to like Zack Ryder when Zack Ryder was doing his Long Island Iced Z, and basically because of the internet and his interactions and stuff, it rose him. Obviously it's different. However, the WWE went like kind of full throttle with him. Immediately made him US champ, and then he flopped because people were just like so satisfied with the fact that he finally became champion, but it hadn't been that long. And so we've talked about that with LA Knight, that you have to kind of like be careful, because you don't want to go all in so quickly that then people have nothing to want to see or to cheer for, because okay, well, he became champion, now what? It's like,
Exactly.
We even talked about it with Cody Rhodes. Like, people wanted him to become champion at Mania. Maybe he should have, maybe he shouldn't have. But the whole point of his return was to come back. And if he comes back and in his first big match, he becomes champion, well, then what are we cheering for afterwards? Like, it's not exciting anymore.
And you hit the nail on the head. You win a championship, great. Then what?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
Look, everybody wants LA Knight to be the U.S. champion or whatever they want, but then what? What happens after that? You have to continue to build this guy with as much momentum as he is right now, and fans are craving to see him win. Just let it ride slowly. And that's exactly what I think they're going to do. We would have loved to have saw him win Money in the Bank. Looking back at it now, I think it was a pretty good decision that he didn't win it.
Yeah, I think it gets people behind him more. You know? Yeah. And who they went with, I think, made sense. Like, it, when I was doing my picks, I said it was going to be LA Knight or Damian Priest. That's who made the most sense to me. And I was coming up with reasons why it made sense. And when I was thinking about it, it's like LA Knight, because I love him. I want him to win. I want him to be successful. This would be a great thing. But then I was like, but adding that briefcase to the Judgment Day is like a plethora of storylines that they can go with. So it like made more sense. Even if my heart was like, I want it to be LA Knight, it was like, no, okay, my head is telling me it's Damian. And then obviously from Money in the Bank till now, it's like, imagine how different it would be if he had won. Look at what happened with Austin Theory when he won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, it didn't go well. So
they did nothing with it. Nothing.
Yeah.
It helped nobody.
That did more harm than good.
I know. I feel bad for him still, but it is what it is. He's probably going to lose on Friday anyway.
He better. Okay, I'm sorry, he better. I'm just
yeah, it's at the point where he should lose because you think it'll be beneficial to him. It's like you need to get the title off him and have him do something else. Turn him babyface. Take him off TV for a while. Like, do something different with him, because he's far too talented to just be like, I beat John Cena 8 years ago at WrestleMania. It's like, we don't want to hear about this. Still, like, congratulations.
Santos Escobar needs. This is what I say all the time. The title doesn't make the person. The person makes the title. And right now, Austin Theory's making the US title look like nothing. Just like this. This is actually more meaningful than that right now.
With your pasted potato tomato.
I am the champion of the Patriot Peeps too, okay? Because Boston's my home, Sarah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do the Gillette after this. What do you think?
But Tim agrees with you, so.
Oh, I'm more. Yeah, I know Tim agrees with me. Yeah, let's stop.
Yeah,
that's how we do it.
Don't gang up on me now.
I'm not ganging up. I'm just defending myself.
I'm all on the Boston love too. I'm a Boston guy.
You are a Boston guy, Tim.
I know.
I love the Patriots. I love the Red Sox. Let's go.
See, that's why you're here. You get extra bonus points for that. Because we have one viewer that just started commenting and watching us regularly, and he's like saying he was in the same city
This
that
was
Pat lives,
bananas.
and then
This-
we're like, "Oh my god, do you like the Patriots?" He's like, "Nope, I was born and I've lived here my whole life," and he says he's not a Patriots fan. And we were like, "How?" I think he dipped before he could answer, but we were like, "How do you live and grow
I
up
don't
in Boston
get it.
and you hate the
It's-
Patriots?" Like,
I don't
how?
get it. I really
get
don't
it.
understand. It's
I don't
just
either.
contrarians in the
I'm
world, man.
curious how old this guy was.
Yeah, I have no idea.
We didn't ask his age. That's right. We
I
didn't.
know. We'll
'Cause
have to
that's a
see.
really.
But
You could be in that weird '90s era.
It's
So
interesting.
yeah. So it's the yeah movement. All right. You know
It
that's.
is.
It's not all. You know, LA Knight is not he's the hottest thing in wrestling, but right now it seems like the yeah movement is the hottest thing on Twitter or X.
well, and Wade
Tweet
Barrett
generation and
shows
Wade
it loves.
Barrett.
Wade Barrett is a friend of the show, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
We
But
love
we
Wade. I
We
yeah,
love
love
Wade
he
Barrett.
is amazing. I just was watching a compilation of LA Knight. I think it was like his coldest. I don't know what they were saying, like his best disses or something like that. And there was one where like it was from NXT and Wade standing there with Sam Roberts and another guy in like, LA comes in and Wade just like immediately starts like grinning like the Cheshire Cat. And I'm just like, you would think that like his wife just walked in or something, but it was LA Knight. And I mean, he dissed him, but it was still just like, yeah, he is me in living form. Just happens to get to watch him ringside every single week.
Yeah. Well, if you
Yeah.
look, I actually posted LA Knight's debut promo. It was on Valentine's Day. They had a pay-per-view going on NXT, and he debuted. And Wade Barrett was so happy that he was there. He was so. I even made a video where I just focused on Wade Barrett's face the whole time,
Mhm.
and the expression is just he was so happy. He's the very first Yeah Movement member.
Yeah.
That's Wade Barrett, man. He loves it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so funny. His love of LA Knight, you know.
We've talked about it with him with that, and then also his love for Pretty Deadly, because I love
yeah.
Pretty Deadly since they were in
That's-
NXT, and Wade was obsessed with them and would just say like the most craziest things
Sure.
about them. And so I was like, I'm bummed now because he's not on SmackDown anymore. Pat, now he's not gonna be able to talk about Pretty Deadly.
Oh,
We're gonna have Michael Cole still telling us the blonde one is Elton, like he tells us this every week.
the
I'm
blonde one is Elton.
The blonde one is Elton. The other one is Kit Wilson. But anyway,
Get a hold of yourself. Yeah. But yeah, it's at Yeah Movement on Twitter. Over to 20,000 followers at this
22,
point.
almost 23.
22, right?
Just we've been doing this for about 3 months now, and we're getting up to 23,000. It's something else, man. People jumping on the bandwagon.
I see people jumping on the bandwagon for other movements as well, for other wrestlers.
Yeah, there's not nearly as popular as the Yeah Movement. Not even close.
Yeah.
There can be pretenders and there can be people that copy us, but we're the original, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I want to ask, I'm jumping ahead of you. I'm sorry, Pat.
Go for it. You can just ask. This is a free ball show.
Okay.
Let it
so
roll.
we were talking a little bit before we went live. So I guess I'll just ask you from the beginning. So how did you get into LA Knight? Like what was it when you first saw him that made you feel this is going to be a big name in WWE? Like this guy has it.
Well, the first time that I saw him, like I had said, is at the Royal Rumble this year. And I saw this guy and I'm like, this guy's awesome. Like he just I don't know how to explain it. He just reminded me of something from days of yore that I loved when I was a kid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all the Attitude Era comparisons come in. And I was just like, I got to find out more about this guy. You know, and I watched his promos. I watched some of his matches. I'm like, this guy is it. All written all over him. This guy is a megastar. He says it, and that's exactly what he is. And I knew that it was just a matter of time before he got to where he needed to be. I was hoping he'd get the opportunity to do that. Week after week, he got jobbed out, and he was an enhanced, glorified enhancement talent. But I knew that very special there with him. And as we see, there sure is.
You had a good gut feeling.
Go with your gut. Couldn't have been any more
Well,
true.
look, I watched very casually for years. I stopped watching altogether from about 2003 to like 2016. Stopped watching,
Oh wow.
and then I casually watched WWE, little AEW, but nobody really made me want to watch. There was nothing going on that was like, I got to see this. Until like the Bloodline came around. That was a good angle I got into a little bit. But I don't know, there's just something about LA Knight that really brought that passion back to wrestling. I think you're seeing that with a whole generation of folks who love wrestling back in the Attitude Era. They're now coming back because of what LA Knight brings to the table. So I think we're going to see this get even bigger as he gets more exposure. It's going to be something very, very special.
Oh yeah.
And we've talked about that too. Like, I'm going to say that a million times here, but about that vibe that he gives off. You know, people are using this like Attitude Era Stone Cold, The Rock kind of as a dig at him, which I don't really understand.
It's not, yeah.
Because it's, well, first of all, it's just ridiculous. It's like he's of that age where that would have been what he saw on television as a kid and admired, and that's what he emulated and wanted to be, just like everybody else in that age bracket. And I think that it's interesting because I watched wrestling for like religiously for up until like 2017, 2018. So like basically when you were getting back into it, I kind of like dipped out. But I remember so many people were saying that they miss the Attitude Era. This era sucks. This is so bad. We miss those types of guys. And then this guy comes in who gives off that old school vibe, and then you're insulting him and saying he sucks because of it. Like, it makes no sense to me.
That's the wrestling Twitter, man. That's wrestling Twitter.
It's I find it hilarious. Like you just said, that we've been looking for something and now we have it, and there are haters out there that are, he's just a rip-off of The Rock, or he's a rip-off of Stone Cold. They can't even decide who he's ripping off, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's ripping off his Flair or Macho Man or, Hulk Hogan, whatever. They can't even decide who's ripping off, but he reminds us of a great time in wrestling. He does. And I just don't think, I think it's insane to say that if he reminds you of the greatest of all time, that's a bad thing.
Exactly.
There's a reason. There's a reason why he reminds you of those people, because he has that greatness inside of him. And we're finally seeing them allow him to bring that out in full force. And it's a wonderful thing. It's bringing lots of people back to wrestling. Lots of people.
It is. Because of that, it feels like that Attitude Era again. And the one thing I will say from that is, it's the ripoff. It's inspiration. Every wrestler needs inspiration to kick off their own gimmick, and he's just getting inspiration from some of the best, greatest of all time. And when he does that, like, the thing that I see, when it comes to the detail that he takes into this, is when he gets into the ring. Remember how Stone Cold used to do like the one hop with the leg, hop over? He does that too. And
can I add one thing?
Yeah, add it.
You added to the Miz too when he came in, right? First of all, the way he gets on the turnbuckle is like Rock kind of, but the way he walked across the ring, I'm going the opposite way, and like went around Miz and like kind of looked at him and then went on the turnbuckle. I was like, okay, Stone Cold, but like when you see that, it's like nostalgic, but I wouldn't be like, F this guy because he's just doing what Stone Cold did. How dare he get on the turnbuckle like The Rock?
Perfect.
But think about it for a second, okay? As someone that was a huge fan back in the Attitude Era, it looks familiar, just like to you. But think about all the new fans that never saw that.
Right.
Think about all the casual fans that never really watch wrestling anymore, that see this and are like, I like this. So I call it the LA Knight effect, where he's something new and fresh and exciting to those people that have been watching wrestling for like the last 5 years or so. But he's something old and something reminiscent of a wonderful time from our past for those that have been watching, for 20, 25 years. So I think that this is unlike anything we've seen. Somebody who's going to come in and gain such huge momentum from all different sides of that audience. And that's why I really think that he has an amazing future in WWE. I think he'll be at the very top. Very top.
It's showing. I mean, it's inevitable. It feels like just you don't get the. And I would say the reactions, how organic it's grown. You know, that's what's mind-boggling to me. I think you posted it, the video of his first appearance out into the SmackDown, I think it was, and then obviously his most recent, and just the noise difference is unbelievable. The feel that this guy's important. You know, it's mind-boggling how organically quick it's gone over.
Well, the video that I posted, his appearance, his match at the Royal Rumble was the first video I posted.
That was it. Royal Rumble. That's why I remember.
And even after that, he was still kind of like feeling it out. You know, people really weren't digging him so much. I would say over the last 4 months, we've seen him go from virtually no reaction to being by far, in my opinion, I think he's the most over wrestler in the company and in the world, if you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll throw Cody Rhodes in there. Yeah, Cody Rhodes is over. He is. He's very popular. But think of how much money WWE has invested into him to get him to this point. Think about it. And then you got this guy come along who, like I said, was enhancement talent, basically, that just did it on his own. People got behind him. And it's just something that I've never seen before, where somebody who organically got that over that quickly while they were being dumped on in the ring. It's just something I've never seen before.
Well, and I think it's very telling of him because that is something that wrestlers dream of. That's something that they want. Like, they don't care if you boo them, if you're cheering for them, they just want some sort of reaction. And sometimes it literally does not matter what they do. They can't get any reaction. And he just was like, nope, I'm going to keep going out here. I'm going to keep doing what I want to do. I'm going to keep being me. And people were like, we love it, and started cheering for him. And, you know, you mentioned Cody. And I talked about this the other day. I think it was when we were talking about the SummerSlam. And I told Pat about the video you posted of Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble compared to LA Knight winning the Battle Royal. And I was like, it very clearly was so much louder for the Slim Jim Battle Royal than it was for Cody. And it's just insane to think about it, because Cody won the Royal Rumble to get a match against the champion at Mania. And LA Knight wins a Battle Royal to be in a Slim Jim commercial, but people were more excited about it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, they are.
It's almost like he has become one of our own. I don't know, it's just, he was held down for all those months, and we got behind him, and we still like, oh, they're gonna keep holding this guy down. I remember the moment that I think galvanized the movement was when WWE piped in those boos. Remember when they piped in the boos?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
That was apparent.
Yeah,
and it was just hilarious because that was done during the Rick Boogs feud they had. They had the tag team match, and then they taped the match that they had in the same venue, but yet he was getting boos. Like, it didn't make any sense. So I think when people saw that and heard that they were piping in boos to kill this guy, or at least try to keep him a heel, I think in a way that kind of galvanized people. Like, fuck you, we want to cheer this guy. We want to put this guy over.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we've seen. I think everyone's gotten behind him like he's their own.
Was that the moment that you were like, I want to create the Twitter page?
Yeah. When did you start the Twitter page?
Yeah.
I had started it before then, actually.
Okay.
I just had this vision, again, I never was like, you know what? I'm really good at this. So I do other social media work for politics and stuff, and I'm pretty good at it.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, why can't we start a movement? Like a grassroots, like, this is what we need to do to get this guy to where he needs to be. And the fans need to speak up, and they need to be louder more than ever. It's not just about cheering him. It's about putting your money where your mouth is. And I said this is before all the t-shirt sales. I said, the only way this guy is going to get a push is if you go out there and you show them he's going to make you stacks of cash.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what's happened. I mean, look at his sales. Look at his merchandise. He's got 15 items.
Mhm.
And he's the #1 merchandise seller in July for WWE. And there you go. It's right there. We got to push this guy. He's making us tons of money. Boom. And we saw it happen. So, you know, what we have to understand, it's a business. And for WWE to really give a look at a guy, to give him a push and to put him on top, he's got to make him lots of money. And that's where we're at now. And I think that we're in a great position with LA Knight. And I think we're going to have some great things with him coming up very soon.
Good things to come to those who wait. Papa Paul told us that one, and I agree. And it feels very old school wrestling in a way where it's the slow burn. I mean, look how long Austin feuded with an authority type figure before he got the title, and look at Daniel Bryan, how long that took, and basically, how long or how great that payoff was at WrestleMania 30. They love milking the cow for all it's worth. And at this point, look at how much money he's making us without any sort of substance match. He's just going out there, he's on the mic, he's fucking entertaining, and he's making us a shit ton of money. So what are we going to do when we push him all the way? Well, we don't want to do that right away. Let's slowly do it so that we can keep making as much money as possible. And yeah, have him feud with like a bloodline to culminate it. You know what I mean? Or just someone of stature that can finally put some, I would say, WWE legitimacy on your name.
Yes.
Which is why the Miz makes a lot of sense.
It's
Perfect.
Perfect. Tim, right there.
Perfect.
That's
I think it's perfect. So,
yeah.
So we talked about Austin. We'll compare this to Austin. Austin, yes, he was a slow burn. How long before, after he started getting pretty good pops? It was about, I'm trying to think. It was probably well over a year. He went from starting to get the good pops to being world champion. It's about a year, because I think at WrestleMania 13 he did that double switch with Brett.
Oh, the blood, everything, yes.
Yes.
13.
But even before then, Austin was getting the babyface pops for the most part. So look, this is my timetable. This is what I believe.
Lay it on us.
I think that LA Knight will be a world champion by WrestleMania 41. Maybe WrestleMania 40, maybe. But we'll see what happens. We'll just see how it goes. A lot of things can happen. Injuries, stuff like that. A lot of things can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if WrestleMania 41 was his ultimate night. I just don't think they're going to do it before then. I think they just have too much. They have to build him up more in the ring to be to be more believable as a world champion. So we'll see. But I think, give it a year and a half. And it's going to be a fun, exciting year and a half.
Now,
Well,
I got to, Go ahead.
I was going to say, he's the reason one of the reasons I like to watch SmackDown now. Not that I hated SmackDown, but Raw's been my show. That's always like Raw. So
I'm a SmackDown guy.
And past the SmackDown guy. I guess
love
we work
SmackDown.
out. But yeah, I was hoping that LA Knight was going to go to Raw. So I was like, okay, Raw's going to be perfect. He gets moved to SmackDown. Pretty Deadly gets called up to SmackDown. So I'm like, those two are and the Bloodline, duh. But they're the reasons that I was tuning into SmackDown and like looking forward to it every week. So I'm really excited to see what this Miz stuff means, because maybe we get double LA Knight. We get him on Raw and SmackDown. So, I don't know, but
yeah.
So you have to put yourself in the shoes of advertisers, right?
Okay.
LA Knight's the guy now. Advertisers love him. They love him. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him on both shows going forward. I wouldn't be surprised at all by that. He might be on SmackDown a little more, or whatever, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him crossing over to both shows. I think that's a very realistic possibility, because advertisers love this guy. Slim Jim, they wanted.
Oh,
this guy.
they wanted. I heard
You
that.
know,
Well, and then he just threw out the first pitch at the Mets game. Like he's doing he's everywhere.
Best
crazy.
pitch the Mets had all night.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, if you're looking at this strictly from a wrestling point of view, he hasn't accomplished anything yet. Nothing.
No, nothing. Yeah, from a wrestling standpoint, he's done nothing.
Right, exactly.
It's awesome.
It is. Which, you know, I remember this tweet from one of these idiots out there not too long ago. You know, how can LA Knight call himself the megastar? Or how can people call him the GOAT? Look at his record over the last 5 years. The guy's won like 10 matches, lost 40. I'm like, you realize this is professional wrestling, right? And the matches aren't real. That they're scripted and they're planned out ahead of time.
Yeah.
What he has done, getting over like he has in those circumstances makes him the GOAT, makes him a megastar. Because I'm telling you right now, nobody else could have done this. If anybody, very, very few could have done what he's been able to do. That makes him very special.
Not many people can overcome the Vince McMahon push down. So we've talked, that was what we said with
burying 15 yards.
Yeah, it's like the Austin Theory, it hurt him. Original Drew McIntyre, like you don't want to be pushed down by Vince McMahon. So
now I got a question. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Question for Tim, because you were saying it's a good WrestleMania 41, whatever. With everything going on right now, like Bloodline, Judgment Day, does this feel like the best time to do it? And it be in kind of working in his favor, like the timing's right, that it's okay with all these different big factions and rivalries right now, that you can do this slow burn with LA Knight so that it doesn't get old too quick.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Oh, 100%. They were doing great business without LA Knight before his rise. They're doing great creative right now. If you just take LA Knight out of the picture, they'd be doing very well right now, business-wise. They'd still be doing just as well right now. So yes, absolutely. I think that it's a great opportunity to slow burn with him and to, like I said, get him in there in the ring with, real stars that have been world champions and get in there and look strong against them. We talked about this in the Battle Royal. Look at how strong they booked him in that Battle Royal. The things he did in that Battle Royal. He was strong. He looked very, very strong. If they do that going forward, it's clear that they want this guy to be on top at some point. But they also want to make sure that this isn't a flash in the pan, that he's going to be just as popular as he is now 6 months from now, a year from now. So yes, they're in a great position to do that. And I think that's what we're going to see. And it's just going to be fun. Forget about the titles. Just enjoy the LA Knight. Just enjoy what he does. This feud of the Miz is going to be great. And with the Bloodline and Judgment Day and all these things that are going on, it's a lot of fun stuff to watch.
Really
Tim is the guest we needed at the right time, because I am not optimistic at all. And he's on here making me feel like LA Knight is going to, be the first guy on the moon.
Thank
That's
God. We
how
need
I
more
feel right now.
positivity on this show, Tim. Thank you.
Look,
God damn it, Sarah.
I look at things from a business point of view, and everything that I'm starting to see now is pointing in one direction, and it's a very good direction. So again, we're going to be patient, but trust me, if we continue to support him like this, and he continues to be loved by advertisers, and you see all these different things going on in the mainstream with him, no doubt.
See, I'm jumping on this bandwagon.
Yeah.
What? I never said I didn't trust Triple H. What do you mean? I never.
I'm pleading the fifth.
I'll delete the videos. I don't know.
One thing I will say though, on the internet, first of all, I would say like 7 to 10% of wrestling fans are on Twitter and stuff, so they're not going to play to what we want. Secondly, I just think it's one of those things where people want things to happen right now, and they're going to crucify every decision if they don't like it in the moment. The way to really judge something is look at it a month or 2 or 3 from when it happened. And then you go back and you say, okay, was that the right call or wasn't it the right call? So That's just how it goes. You got to see how things play out.
Well, and I think you do a good job about that on your Twitter page because it can be difficult to remember like the path that that they've been on up to this point. And so when you think about the Royal Rumble, he lost that match. It wasn't memorable in a good way for the most part, and you were like, okay, what do they do from here? And then not much had come from that, but like look at where he's at now. It's like everything was working in his favor, we just didn't know it at the time. And he wouldn't necessarily be at this point if he didn't go through all of that BS that he's gone through. And it's like, you want to be satisfied now, like you said. And so it is difficult in the wrestling business to be patient as a fan.
Yes. Of course
it is. It's very hard.
Well, and
it's
I've
very
said
hard to be patient.
And I've said with Triple H too, it's hard because you get into Vince McMahon mindset. So like you kind of understand, okay, when this happens, you know what this means. And if this happens, you know what this means. Or, oh, we know what Vince McMahon's going to do with this guy. But that's like the beauty of Triple H is you don't really know what he's going to do because he hasn't been in this position for very long. So he hasn't developed these like repetitive patterns that we can be like, okay, so-and-so lost. That means he's going to do that, And so I think that is a little bit good because of the unpredictability factor. But then when you're someone trying to figure out, okay, what does this mean? Like, is there an Easter egg? What is this going to mean? It's like, you can't figure it out because Triple H isn't the same. So if anything, he's been better because of
more
that.
intelligent.
Well, because
Way
he
more
has that
intelligent.
wrestling background. He understands the importance of other things that Vince couldn't because he wasn't in his position for so
He's
long.
been
He was
in a
always
locker
strictly
room.
business. I know, but he wasn't a wrestler, like there's
No,
a
no,
difference.
Triple H. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
Triple
yeah.
H has been in a locker room. I just had that brain
Yes.
blast like hit like right now. That's why I kind of put. He's been in a locker room, so he knows those in and outs. He knows what wrestlers are saying. So why not kind of book like that? It's that level above, next level thinking that you need to carry on the legacy of a company like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do want to ask too. I know that this is probably it's just a hot topic. I saw people talking about it. I watched a sports Kita video. What do you have to say about the people who are saying that LA Knight is too old to just be getting his push now because he's 40, which apparently is ancient. I understand it's wrestling, but let's be real. But
it's idiotic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it
anyone
is.
who thinks that's I'm sorry, but you're a moron. If you really think that, if you really think he's too old at 40 years old to be at this spot, you're just not paying attention. Take a look at that roster. Now I know they've a lot of those guys who are over 40 have been established for a while, but this guy is in unbelievable shape. He's never had a major injury. Knock on wood.
I know. I got
I'm
you.
doing it right
I
now.
got
We're all three. We're three of us just fucking.
you.
Please God, yeah.
So look, it's just idiotic to think that he's too old, because we see guys out there that are 5, 6, 7, 8 years older than him, still going out there and still putting out great matches and still cutting great promos. And the great thing about LA Knight too, and a lot of people like to rag on him for his in-ring skills. He ain't gonna go out there and fly off turnbuckles and do all these big moves and go through tables. He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Because he tells a story that we want to watch unfold. Not only on the microphone, but in the ring as well. When you watch him in the ring, he's old school in that way, that he tells a story when he's in the ring. So he doesn't have to do all that insane stuff that other guys have to do. To me, he's just getting started, man. He's got years ahead of him. Years ahead of him.
I agree. I think people just forget, like they just assume that everyone is 25 or something. I don't know. It's like we've talked about it where it's like Finn is 42, Seth is close to 40, Roman Reigns is close to 40. It's
Bobby
like
Lashley's 50, according to me.
I'll send it to you. I put out a tweet a couple weeks ago, I think it was, where I listed the ages of every single wrestler in WWE that's mid-card or higher.
Right.
And the vast majority of them were in their late 30s or 40s.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority. And I think there are like 10 of them, like 9 or 10 of them, they're older than LA Knight. So you got to do your homework a little bit. You can't just say, well, because Vince thinks he's old, he's too old. It's just not how it is. It's not reality.
Yeah. Well,
Yes,
that's
thank
what I
you.
loved about DDP coming out and saying something, because if anyone wants to talk about a guy that got over when he was older, it's DDP.
Yes.
So I'm like, I love that he was like, no, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. I'm like, yes, King, can you say this everywhere? Because I think, again, it's just like you mentioned earlier, it's just the audience wasn't around or alive in some cases when DDP broke out on the scene. So, like,
So-
they don't understand that.
So a little my past, I was a huge wrestling fan in the late '90s. I also worked a little bit in the industry. I worked for WCW magazine. I did some work for them when I was in high school. I was really kind of like, it was like my life, man. I watched it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if I could. I love wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Diamond Dallas Page. I remember seeing him. I was shocked to hear that he was like in his early 40s, because he didn't really look like it in the way he was. Like, I just didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
And to see how well he did in that era when he was considered old, really showed you that even 25 years ago, age is just a number. Now,
Yeah.
we have so many guys that are 40 plus that are still main eventers. So if DDP hits it right on, man, he was one of the first ones I remember that really said, the hell with the age thing, it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's just, for me, like, as an outsider, it just kind of feels like there are, there's, if you talk about sports, sometimes, or like basketball, football, sometimes it's like they say that their best years are like their early 30s or so. It's like depending on the sport, of course. And I feel like with wrestling, it's like, yeah, you don't have to be 25. Most of the time, the 25-year-old is not going to be that great as an all-around wrestler, performer, speaker, whatever. It's like, with experience, with time, going through it, spending time in other promotions is what's going to make you better. And I feel like in some cases, yeah, it's going to be the 35-year-old plus, because they've been around, they understand the psychology, they understand the fans. Like, I don't see why it's such a problem to people. But I mean, it's not like LA Knight, if you walked up to you would be like, this dude's 40. He looks
Nah,
like
I
he's in
would.
his 30s. I don't see it. So
You've got the LA Knight haters out there, and they're there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them, but they're out there. That's one of the things they're going to go to. Oh, it's too old. Yeah, it's too old.
so weird.
It's so it makes no sense.
You just don't
Yeah.
even pay attention to it, because it's just not. It's not true.
It's really not.
You heard it from the man himself, guys.
It's the Yeah movement, man.
That's
Having a
right.
great conversation about probably the hottest thing in wrestling right now.
Damn
LA
right. it is.
Knight. Bernard, our good friend Bernard, speaking facts. Tim, you
Yeah.
are speaking facts. Yeah, he
I love
is.
that.
Oh, we love it. It's been a great conversation talking about LA Knight, the hottest thing in wrestling. And it's crazy. We just had this whole conversation. I didn't even feel like the time just flew, because it's just
I know,
like
I just
you
looked.
go on. You
Yeah.
don't realize. Yeah, no, it's incredible, because one guy, be able to do this, and the fact that it's not a guy like a Roman Reigns or a Gunther, a dominant champion. It's just the most entertaining man on TV every week, and God, do I hope they put him on both shows. We're gonna wrap up the show here with another favorite segment. And 1, 2, 3 count, 3 little topics, conversation pieces to wrap the show up. 1, I saw this story recently, and I sent it to Sara and just was like, there's no way this is real. So I actually clicked on the tweet, Sara, and read the story. Tim, I don't know if you knew this, but during his last match, Ric Flair fell asleep on the
Same.
apron.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Same.
I think he was not the only person to sleep during his last match, but he fell asleep while he was on the apron, and his son-in-law, aka his tag team partner, had to wake him up for the finish.
Andrade?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
this is my this might be one of my favorite stories of wrestling in the currently.
I'm just gonna. I feel like when he talks about how he doesn't think he's done and he thinks he has one more match, I think he just needs to rewatch the clip or whatever where he says that he fell asleep, and let that be the indicator that
That's your sign.
maybe you're done, because it's a little concerning, considering like the amount of physical activity that you were just doing, and then you just like pass out. Like I don't know, it's a little bit worrisome
Oh
for
my
your
God.
age and your health history.
I
But
like how he's. Look, I love Ric Flair. I'm a
Who
huge Ric Flair
doesn't?
guy. But look, I mean, him saying I fell asleep is kind of a joke. Like you passed out, dude. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be doing that.
yeah,
There's
Yes.
absolutely no reason you should have been in a match.
No. Well, it was
Well,
against Jeff Jarrett, though.
yeah, but he like literally is like a year or two removed from being like.
No, I totally
resuscitated. Like,
agree. If anyone had to do it, it would have been Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
well,
But,
and no one is like, all of the big Ric Flair fans out there, they're not going to look back at this match and remember it fondly. Like when you
No.
think about Ric Flair's career, you're not thinking about the fact that he's 70 something years old and is out there wrestling and then passing out. Like that's not a
Fighting
memory
Jeff
you need to
Jarrett.
give them.
It's really sad to see how this is kind of unfolded for him towards the end. Like he just can't let it go.
Yeah.
He just can't. He wants to be the Nature Boy,
Mhm.
and we've already heard. He almost died a couple years back. He stopped
Twice.
drinking for a while. Now he's drinking more than ever.
Yeah.
He just can't be anybody else but the Nature Boy, and it's kind of sad.
I feel like it's, we've talked about some of the best wrestlers can be the ones who are just like an elevated version of themselves, which we've said, with like LA Knight, John Cena, where they're not really like a character, but it feels like with some people, like with Ric Flair, he didn't have to deviate too much from who Ric Flair is in real life. And it's almost like he's become the wrestler Ric Flair, where there is no off switch. And it feels like that's the issue, is just like, other than the fact that he can't give it up because his time in the ring should have been done, it seems like he just can't break out of being what we've seen on TV for, before we were even born. And it is sad.
It is really sad.
But it is a funny headline to be like,
No,
I fell
it's. I'm
asleep.
sorry. It was the.
I fell asleep.
At the end of it is sad, but goddamn, if anyone's gonna fall asleep on the apron and be like, "Oh, it's gonna be the Nature
right?
Boy himself. 2. Brock Lesnar, the country star. I don't know if you saw this, Tim, but Brock Lesnar was at a country concert the other night and got up on stage and sang with the band, grabbed the mic, sang with the fans, and I'll tie it into this. I really want to see I think he will come back at some point. Let him have his fun for a couple months. He went through every pay-per-view that except for like one. That is a really good job for Brock Lesnar. I kind of have to give it to him. Have all the time off you want. Sing country songs with all your country bumpkins. Like, this is okay. I'm not okay. I want to see this when he comes back. I want to see like a version of this where he has more personality like this, because that's where I feel like we're at with Brock Lesnar.
Hey, he can do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He's earned it, man. He can do whatever he wants.
Now, what did you think of the interaction him and Cody had at SummerSlam?
I thought it was real. I thought it was great. I mean, I think it was Brock's way of kind of, putting his seal of approval on Cody Rhodes. And it also, like, I think I heard that wasn't even.
Not even
kind of on the spot.
Cody thought he was going to fight him. Thought he was going to fight him.
I did too. I was waiting. I was like, he's about to punch him in the face, guys.
So it just shows you that, there's a real respect there. And it's good to see. It's great to see. I love seeing things like that.
Me too. I don't know why people have such an issue, but they were like, it made him look weak. I'm like, no. Did you see the match?
You tell that, Brock.
Yeah, tell Brock Lesnar to his face.
Tell that to Brock Lesnar.
I wouldn't tell toddler Brock Lesnar to his face that he was weak. Never mind 40-something-year-old man. No.
He would.
Imagine meeting a toddler named Brock Lesnar. I'm like, this is why I said when he came out and he was born and his family looked at him and was like, we're going to name this kid Brock. Like, and then his name's Lesnar. Like, that was a guy that was going to have to be an ass kicker, because you can't have that hardcore of a name and just like work at the grocery store, be a plumber. Like, you can't be like, hi, I'm Brock Lesnar. Like,
I'm Brock Lesnar with Honda cars. Like, I'm
he's like, or he's like a cake decorator. Like, no. He needed to be an ass kicker, you know?
He
That's
is
my
what he
rant.
was born to be.
Yes, exactly.
Then 3. Hit the bell. One nonsense prediction for this week in wrestling. Could be for SmackDown. Could be for Raw on Monday. Or even a little NXT because Dom Dom is apparently the hottest thing in NXT
Yeah.
right now. So give us a little, Tim, we'll conclude with you.
A nonsense prediction, like something that definitely won't happen prediction, or just
Whatever comes to your mind that you would like to see, but we'll put it in the folder of fantasy booking.
well, oh God, I don't know. You go first. I think about it.
Okay. Sarah.
I don't have one either. This is like
Well, I am trying to let the guest go first, what the hotel most does. So I can
know,
kick
but I'm
things
always
off.
bad
All
at this
right.
because I always come up with the things that I actually want to see.
I
actually
just
want
think
to
of
see.
random shit that happens, whatever comes to my head. So
The
I
Rock
can go now.
returns and beats down Roman Reigns on
No,
SmackDown.
not that nonsensical. All right, we have to keep it in the galaxy of possibilities.
Hey, Roman's supposed to be on SmackDown, so that's good. Even though he's
Good.
supposedly injured.
My nonsense prediction will be that I think Jimmy I'll do it for SmackDown. I think Jimmy is going to side with Roman, and it was all a plot by Paul Heyman. I don't think it's all. I think it's been a nonsense part of it. I think it's been a plot by Paul Heyman that Jimmy did all this, and it's going to come out, and that like Paul has been masterminding all that.
I got a nonsense prediction.
There we go.
Okay.
Austin Theory is going to lose the U.S. title. Nonsense.
We love it.
Love
What was
that.
your
I'm gonna
theory?
love that.
You wanted
that
him
down.
to lose or something. What was it? And you wanted LA Knight to get in it, Pat? You said what was it?
So this is a really good one. So what happens is Theory wins, and like Loki squash.
a squash match.
Yeah, like low-key squash, like not like a like an apparent one, but like it's a pretty short match. And Theory gets on the mic talking all that shit, and saying I can beat anybody, it doesn't matter. And then who comes out but L.A. Knight, and he's like, if you think you're so hot, you can beat anybody on this roster in the back, then try me right now. And L.A. Knight wins it because Austin Theory was running his mouth too much.
Nonsense prediction.
Never gonna happen.
So
that's my prediction is Theory is going to win. He's going to retain his U.S. title. I don't see any question about that. That's not nonsense.
I don't feel like I don't know. I mean, I have my opposite view of your version of Jimmy, where I was going to say Jimmy just doesn't want him to be the tribal chief, and he's going to be like, no, brother, I was trying to save you. But I don't feel like that's nonsense because I think that could be true.
I think that could be true, and I don't think Paul Heyman's behind this. I think it's an Elders thing. But
okay,
goddamn, wouldn't it be incredible if Paul Heyman was behind the whole thing and he's just been puppet master?
So then my nonsense will be as we're having the tribal chief ceremony or whatever is supposed to happen. The Rock comes out and is like, oh, hell no. And, there we go. Nonsense. There we go.
Well, they did show, in that vignette with the Ufalu.
I can't remember how to say it.
I'm like close to getting it correct right that
Okay.
time. So in that they had, I would say, cartoon, comic book,
it was like
superheroes, AI. Yeah, it was AI generated, but that animated feel of the Elders, and it was like Yokozuna on there, the Wild Samoans, and The Rock kicked things off.
Well, you can't leave him out when when you think of Samoan dynasty in WWE, you can't leave him out.
Exactly. So if
he's not showing up on SmackDown in some like Wisconsin, he's just not.
I'm just saying that he's involved. They have to involve him at this point since they put him up. Before they didn't have to, because we said on previous shows that right now they don't have to do anything. They could be like, yeah, The Rock comes out for Grayson Waller, and that would be it. It's like, when have they ever referenced him in the bloodline? You can make that argument. But now they can't. They screw themselves by finally putting him on there. So it says, all right, if he comes back, he has to be involved.
For fans like you, they've screwed themselves. For fans like me, I'm like, yeah, okay, he's just part of the Samoan family. You can't not have him in there.
The one thing that I can guarantee you about The Rock is that his return will not be some surprise on any show. It'll be well advertised that The Rock will be there because they want people to watch and know that he's going to be there. So I promise you, he ain't going to just all of a sudden appear on SmackDown. It's just not going to happen that way. But if you can keep dreaming.
I would like it's a lot of fun to dream.
He's been dreaming of The Rock showing up since I don't know.
It took me 6 months to get Sting's debut in WWE correct. I predicted every pay-per-view for like 5 or 6 months. And then it was at Survivor Series. I was like, guys, it's tonight. And they're like, shut up. You've been saying this for 6 months. Like, stop talking. And as OBJ made that catch, it was the same night, by the way. Sting came out and I was losing my shit. Just in the because I was right. 6 times the charm.
I guess so.
Blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
That's what you get it, Tim. You get it. You get it, my dude.
I do.
Yeah, it's been a blast hanging out with you here and talking LA Night, talking wrestling here in Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show. We take no nights off. And
yeah.
So this is the part of the show where when we have a guest on, let you get in your soapbox, tell the peeps where they can find you, what you're giving the peeps for content, and how can we keep the movement going.
Well, y'all, you got to follow me. You got to follow me on Twitter. Very easy. Just look up the handle at movement. And we got some other things. We have a YouTube page, movement. You can find us there. Same handle. We got a lot of things we're in the planning stages of right now. I never really expected this to take off as it has, but we got some stuff going on other social media platforms. We're going to be starting up pretty soon, and we're also looking at maybe doing some merchandise as well for y'all. So more to come on that. But right now, head over to Twitter, movement. Look us up, give us a follow, and let's keep this thing rolling. Yeah.
Guys, Tim, thank you so much. And not only to follow Tim, but follow us too. Hit that subscribe button on Sara's YouTube channel, that bell notification to know when we go live. Next time we go live will be the SmackDown Breakdown. Sara Oh, play the other one. Play whose game is it?
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite one.
Whose game is it? It's LA Knight's game.
So I'm
Don't
get excited.
Too late.
Get excited.
Too late.
Sir, because of what you were talking about.
I'm sorry. Too late. I'm already excited.
Sorry.
We got SmackDown Breakdown on Saturday. Time to be decided. It's up to I have to on that day off, so time decided. 7 May early. Who knows? But yeah, we're back for the SmackDown Breakdown, and that's on Sara's YouTube channel. All the other social media platforms to follow us on, they're in the link below. Okay, so go check out that link below. Comment anything you loved about this show, why you love LA Knight, why anything.
We should have Tim on the show again.
Why would you? Well, that was the thing. I knew there was one thing I forgot to mention. Tim, I have a rule. Any show that I host, once you're on the show once, you have an open door policy. Whenever you want to come back on, you let me know. We set it up. That's what I do for the peeps.
Oh, we got to do it. Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
I'm in.
We'll keep it going.
Maybe for our 1000th sub party. Because we're reaching 1000.
Like low key, kind of close. We're like 8 something.
Yeah, we're at 861 before we went live. So
that's incredible.
We're slowly but surely getting there. Yeah,
we're slowly climbing.
Yeah,
and I can't wait for it. So probably that will be the next time. But the next time you can find us is on Saturday for the SmackDown Breakdown. Enjoy SmackDown tomorrow night, and God bless. And remember that you can do it. All you gotta do is try. We will see you next episode. Yeah.
Bye-bye.